share like a few pointers before touching the technology. When I nod my head like this, 1995, when I stepped into Sweden, they thought, what are you doing? Are you sick or no? The Indian way of nodding head is, you are perceived to be saying no, but we are saying yes. Okay? That's one example. Into my second month of internship, we have a situation where we have globalization also plays a huge role. In my 22 years of journey outside India, with a native being out of Bangalore, I have seen out in Europe, in US, and now into Asia Pacific, where I deal a lot with the Chinese culture also, along with India, my home market. Whatever the education that we try to go with, we have to bring education to life and life to education. With that opening statement, I wish to go through like bit of what we are doing in the field of education at Eon Reality. We try to address three things. Whether we are able to help our partners, our business ventures, and also our clients, whether they can remember longer, decide better, and learn faster. How do we go ahead to do this? Let's see. In the context of Education 4.0, we are not just looking at education, but also we are looking at a bit of a disruption here. Technology kills jobs every day and create new ones. The classic example is Uber. There is a lot of unionization with respect to the taxi drivers, and in some markets it's been totally cancelled. But again, from 2012 onwards, that has been like one of the most valued companies on earth. And if I look at like, what is it? Lack of skill, full-time employment. There won't be anything called as a full-time employment. And what we are trying to do here at Auronya is all a process of disruption. We are creating new kind of individuals who are ready for the market and very closely with the government of Singapore. Can we get a bit more volume on the video here?
We're going to flash over a level 3
the lights here?
back to an image of these two rally points.
As you can see on the screen, this is the meeting room and this is the lobby, which is over there.
Incidentally, this is the representation of our current office in Singapore. Before we started the construction, I wanted this itself as a reference example.
Hey Sam, do you think we can have these 3 outlets done by tomorrow?
We have worked with ExxonMobil where we have a patent and it's an AR-based application.
Hi boss! Can you please run a quick inspection of checkpoint 48? I'm getting some inconsistent readings over here.
Let me have a look. I can see a smoke involved there.
Alright, that's great. Thanks.
So in the context of telemedicine, collaborative learning and collaborative engagement, this particular reference in the medical field is far-reaching. Even though it's an illustration, this sort of information exchange is possible. So if you're looking at this is a smart nation and it's powered by augmented reality or virtual reality here. So the type of deployment which you look in the context of an educational institution is, it's collaborative learning. Why do we need these devices? And what is the framework we try to adopt in collaborative learning? I earlier started off with saying learning faster, remember longer. I'll take an industry example and then come back to the education field. One of the examples with a reference of Atlas Copco, we have service technicians training 12 times faster, and cost savings is 92%. And in the context of operators training, 2.7 times faster with a cost savings of 63%. Actual facts being represented in terms of a data and a case study. Now coming to the field of education, we have done a lot of research, and also we want to contribute where my chairman's vision is knowledge as a human right. And in this context, what is the problem with the traditional education? It is quantity, quality, attention. Not many countries are as affordable in the field of education as we see in the Nordic side or in the US side or in Singapore, because there is always a challenge and a gap where the budget is shrinking. And if you see, there is a global shortage of teachers. In India alone, it's about 1.2, whereas America, which is 1/5 the population size of India, needs more teachers than in India. And UN has been also going in with like a lot of research in this area, and they see this as a calamity before them. And now, if you look at like the opportunities what we have in front of us when we are looking at identifying this as a quality problem, then we have this as what dimensions are we trying to address the educational needs in terms of the taxonomy table. We have an attention problem. Then how do we address this in terms of solution? Now let's see this video. And this is actually being deployed in a few schools in Singapore, and also a few universities have endorsed in Australia.
Giant lava that's been flying for billions of years through space, where it is so cold that its outer layers froze to stone. But the core remained as hot as the surface of the sun. That is our planet, Earth. Can anybody tell me how old our planet is?
They said that the Earth is 4.5 billion years old. That's right.
The context of a collaborative learning where the students can be at any time, but they can be engaged into the same subject. We have tried it out with 40 students at once on your smartphones also.
Hello, hi. Hi, Professor. Let me take a look. I see. For a four-cylinder engine, the typical firing order is 1, 3, 4, 2. Try connecting the spark plugs in that order.
Thank you, Professor.
And that example, that illustration is a deployment what we have done in Ethiopia with the UNIDO support, United Nations Industrial Development Organization, Volvo, Eon Reality, and the Ministry of Education in Ethiopia has worked on the project.
Hello and welcome to new national lesson on the coronary blood vessels that you can see in the blue veins and red arteries are part of the systemic blood flow. And that's precisely what makes up heart beat.
So how costly it is. If you all have your smartphones, go ahead, download the app. You just need a clip-on glasses. Here we go. With this clip-on glasses, you are able to see the VR experience here. Now earlier I shared a table and a data, and that comes back to the aspect of the education, how we measure the results. We are referring back to the Bloom's taxonomy table. There is a cognitive process, there is a knowledge dimension. I'll not read it all, but I will share where we have to focus and where Auronya's focus is on education 4.4 matches to the area of the research what we have done over the last 6-7 years. If you see the areas on to the left side of the screen, which are easily replaced by automation, you don't need a new cutting-edge technology. But what are the skills needed for future jobs that are based on VR and AR? And what are the skills that is needed to develop? This is where we look at like how this platform, together with Auronya, we can develop students through the use of VR/AR technologies for them to be global citizens. With this, I thank the opportunity what Auronya has provided to us, and we look forward to strengthen our partnership and bring this technology on a firm platform for revolutionizing the education scenario in India. Thank you all.
Thank you so much for showing us the amazing range of Eon reality. In the age of media convergence and information integration, Auronya aims to think across boundaries, solve emerging problems, and create culture that transcends humanity by preparing future leaders of the information society. It recognizes the critical role of media and communication in shaping our lives. I now request Dr. P.V. Sangeeta to introduce the School of Media and Communication.
Good evening, one and all present here. I'm excited to present the School of Communication and Media Studies of Auronya. Here we have three related departments of media and communication. The first one which I'm going to present is Department of Communication. Communication has become a very lightweight concept nowadays because everyone is available at just one click. And there's a difference. Earlier we used to communicate looking at each other's eyes, and now we communicate looking at our iPhone or iPad. Chats have become Snapchats. Videos have confined to 6 seconds, and messages have limited to 140 characters. This is a change made by the technology. This has changed the way people think, and this has reflection on their culture also. Communication is the heart of cultural identity. Culture emerges, sustain and change with communication. And School of Communication of Auronya is a great platform to understand the way people communicate within and across different cultures. As a discipline, communication looks at message, meaning, and behavior. With theories and models of communication, psychology of communication, Auronya tries to bring up the better educators, better communicators. Next, we have Department of Media. As you all know, media is the fourth pillar of democracy. The connection and conflict on media, society, and culture is very difficult to define because media is both societal and cultural. Media is the very part of the structure of the society. Its infrastructure and technology is a part of power and economic base, while the message and the information that are being communicated through media is the very important aspect of the culture and life of the people. To add on, we have digitalization. Digitalization has transformed what media were. It transformed or it changed the format and content of the media. It also changed the way people consume the media too. Soon, mobile phones will become the primary channel to connect to internet all over the world. Maybe now this, it will be unleashing opportunities to another 6 billion people to have access to information and messages. But what are you going to do with this information? How are you going to structure this information? What ethics that you are going to follow? The Department of Media of Auronya explores or addresses these issues. The Department of Auronya focuses on the evolution, theories and models, digital media technologies, advertising and public relation, radio and television journalism. It trains the industry's smart media professionals who can uphold the social responsibility of media. Next, we have Department of Journalism. The Department of Journalism is a platform to train the future journalists of the country. It emphasizes on the theory and practice of professionalism, of principles of journalism based on rigor, professionalism, and ethics. Truth cannot be refuted. At Auronya, we aim to focus on the new age area of investigative and computational journalism. We also focus on development journalism, photojournalism, radio journalism, print journalism, online or digital journalism. Yes, the School of Communication is a promise towards making the fourth pillar of democracy a better and stronger one. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Those who have seen Modern Times by Charlie Chaplin are sure to be amazed at his perspicacity.
Nonprofit think tank in downtown Palo Alto. We're constantly scanning to understand what new technologies are transforming the next decade.
I'm Mike Zuckerman. I'm a culture hacker and an affiliate researcher here at the Institute for the Future, looking into physical space as a means for social change.
My name is Dylan Hendricks. I'm the program director for the 10-year forecast and a BEAM user here at the Institute for the Future. I use it every day and it has literally changed my life. I would not go back to a time before beams.
The first time we saw the beam, we immediately were interested in what this means for the future of retail, the future of work, and the future of relationships.
The last few decades have seen an incredible amount of evolution in the way humans interact with each other, enabled by digital communication.
So one of the amazing things about the beam is how quickly you feel like the beam is a part of you. It's so far and above any of the current presence technologies.
It really isn't comparable to video conferencing in that way because the person is in the space, they're gesturing, they're moving around, they're interacting.
The eye level, standing, the spatial mobility really make it feel much more like they're in the room.
The ease of use of the software, amazing.
Overlays on the video show you the momentum of the beam, and if you're going to hit an object, the bird's eye view. I never feel clumsy. It feels a lot just like an extension of myself.
With Beam, you can literally be in different places in the world in the exact same day.
The moment I'm done working, I want to be playing with my little kids. Now the commute is instantaneous and has made my work life just so much more sustainable than it was before.
The possibilities enabled by this technology represent a huge opportunity for the evolution of our species and raising of the quality of life for everybody.
The Beam is one of these technologies that's like fire or written language.
Maybe people don't even remember the first time they used a touchscreen. The magic of that, that's how you feel when you use the Beam the first time.
Because once you get used to this ability to enter a space and have agency in that space at a moment's notice, it's very difficult to go back.
There's a lot more mixing and mingling between individuals.
The thing that people really are looking for is who's on the robot, who's on the Beam right now.
It offers a sociability that's not present when you're simply video chatted in.
Things like beams open up the possibilities for what kind of a workforce you can have.
One of the things the Institute for the Future does really well is convene experts. It's really incredible to be able to get these thought leaders into the room for an hour.
The upgrade to the Beam is perfect.
With battery life, the ability for people to participate in these all-day meetings is just that much easier. I mean, it really is less of a machine that you choose to use or not, and more like a capacity that you now just have permanently as a part of your office.
It's almost like you didn't know what you were missing, but once you experience it, you don't want to go back. So.
I request Mr. B.S. Raghu to come on stage for his presentation. We also welcome Mr. Harsha, Global R&D Director, Suitable Technology, who is communicating to us through Beam.
Good evening. Thank you, Professor Anuj. Thank you, Auronya, for this lovely opportunity. My name is Raghu. I represent Suitable Technologies as the strategic partner in India. I am also happy to have Harsha, who is beamed in. Harsha is the Global R&D Head of Suitable Technologies. So he is currently in Mysore, in India. You already seen what the technology is. Now Harsha is moving the robo. He is on the robo. This technology is called Smart Presence Robotics. This can have very useful ramifications in education, in medical science. It could also have a lot of meaning in collaborating with fellow colleagues in several organizations. In fact, we have had several large corporates in India already using Beam currently. We have a small presentation. Before that, I would ask Harsha also to speak a few things about Beam, and he will have something more to say being the R&D head of this technology.
Hi, can you hear me? So, hi Harsha, thank you for having me virtually over in this meeting. So, I'm very impressed with everything that Auronya is doing in terms of bringing the latest technology to India and teaching. I'm especially passionate about teaching and education. And in fact, last year I was here in India for about 2 months. I went all around India and tried to find out how technology like Beam can be brought to India. So thanks to Raghu, we actually have